Sword of the Sea might be the most memorable short game I've played all year. And not just for what it gets right, but for a few things it gets wrong too. Welcome to Short Games. I'm Elliot from Human Computer. I want to get started by talking about why I started this series. I didn't start Short Games to give scores or write reviews. I started it to share games that I love with people who are curious about mechanics and experiences that really showcase what video games as a medium are capable of. Which brings me to Sword of the Sea. Sword of the Sea is just set up to be something that I should love. And I think it's one of the smartest decisions that the studio behind it, Giant Squid, has ever made. It's an amalgamation of everything they've done so far. It has the sand surfing from Journey. It has the gorgeous aerial dancing of the Pathless. It has the transforming landscapes and surreal aquatic creatures and the ability to ride them from Abzu. And for the first 45 minutes, I was enthralled. The game takes place in a sprawling desert where the sands move like the sea. You play as a voiceless, masked character referred to as the Wraith. And their unique trait is their sword. It's a hover sword. You zip around the landscape like Marty McFly meets Tony Hawk, doing tricks off of dunes, finding half-pipes in abandoned citadels, and solving puzzle platforming challenges that require just the minimal amount of creative problem solving. There's also a collection progression mechanic that's happening. You collect these little shards, give them to a praying god, and you slowly unlock additional moves. The cool thing is these moves aren't critical. They're more about fun and style, like the ability to spin and do tricks, and the mechanics just build from there. One thing I absolutely adore about this game is the art direction. There has been a constant progression in Giant Squid's games, and this is absolutely the best looking one that they've made. Really showcases what the tools and the talent there are capable of. There's some really creative work being done here, especially with the water and the layering in the contrast of that water with the sand. The sand is flat and opaque, but the water has depth. And when you're in it, it has this beautiful effect, like you're looking through a window into an entire universe beneath the sand. And the contents of that universe, the aquatic life, they spill over in surreal and abstract ways. There's a soundtrack behind all of it that gives you a feeling of artistry. The soundtrack conveys emotion and scale. It feels epic and mysterious. There's voices and strings, and it really codes the way you experience the game. And that's always been a Giant Squid staple. It does a really good job of making the game feel bigger, like it's not just a video game, it's a piece of art. I think by now it's clear that I really loved parts of this game. There's also parts of this game I didn't love. But before we go much further, I want to tell you something personal. As a kid, all I wanted to be was a marine biologist. I loved dolphins. I don't think there are enough dolphin-based video games in the world. So when I realized halfway through playing Sword of the Sea that there might be some dolphin riding, I was pretty giddy. But you don't just ride a dolphin for a moment. They have entire dolphin chapters of the game. And on paper, that's my dream. But in practice, something didn't click. Remember, up to this point, I'd been sand surfing with this elegant mechanic, these smooth undulating waves. I'd been stacking movement techniques and starting to master locomotion. Now I was a dolphin, but I was platforming. literally flopping my dolphin up the side of a mountain. The moveset of the Sand Surfer was completely gone. Everything I had earned up to this point was replaced with dolphin mechanics. And this goes on for a long time. A really long time. When it was finally over, I was so happy to be back to surfing. But then I was riding a shark, and that level was even worse. It was basically a game of Snake. You're uncomfortably circling through sand on a glorified fetch quest, breaking static crystal icebergs. That's it. I mean, you might look at this footage and think, that looks really cool. I'm not going to argue that it isn't a good idea. It is. But playing it doesn't feel good. In some games, that's the point, right? Goat Simulator is absurd and the fun comes from the funny. But here, it's not fun and it's not funny. I am more than capable of suspending my disbelief. Okay, here's a game where you're floating on a sword through dunes of sand as sunfish frolic through the sky above you. And I'm like, I have no problems with it. I'm here for it. I'm buying every second. But then you climb on a dolphin, and instead of flowing through the sand or the water, you're flopping up the side of a cliff, struggling with a camera that was clearly tuned for sand surfing, not dolphin locomotion. And here's the kicker. The game is doing everything it can to convince you that it's still epic, that it's art, that it's a profound experience. But you shouldn't need your other senses to tell you that something is fun. And it just goes on for too long. I wish that they would have kept this experience a much smaller scale and left me wanting more. And instead, I found myself really hoping that it would be over soon. In simplest terms, it just wasn't fun. These were bad gameplay decisions that slipped into an otherwise incredible game. And that's exactly why I think this is worth talking about. Because when you're building a game, every decision has to pass one test. Is this fun? If the answer is yes, you ask, how do we make it even more fun? How do we add juice, feedback, and mechanics to amplify this feeling? And if the answer is no, you have to ask, what do we change, or can we cut it? That's one of the hardest things in game development. You set a vision, you build, you test. And you have to ask yourself with honesty at every step, is it fun? Is this making my game better? That's the difference between the transcendent heights of sand surfing and the awkward lows of dolphin flop. Even with these two awkward chapters, I strongly believe this is a game you should play. It is an artistic accomplishment, a whimsical masterpiece, and it just feels good most of the time. It's available for $29.99. It's on Steam and PS5. And if you subscribe to PlayStation Plus at the tier that gives you the game catalog, you should find it in there, at least at the time of this video. So I want to hear from you. What was your favorite moment in Sword of the Sea? Do you agree or disagree with this opinion? It's fine if you do. And if you haven't played it, leave me a comment below with another game that has one odd chapter or mechanic that you wish had been left out. In the end, that's why I like making these videos, to better understand why they work, why they feel good, and sometimes why they don't. If you're interested in following our journey as we work towards our debut game, the best way to do that is to subscribe here as well as our Substack. Subscribers are going to be the first ones with a chance to playtest, and please take a moment to give us a like and share this video with a friend. It really helps our channel and our community grow. Until next time, thank you so much for watching.